Now, give her a challenge to have so many bookings before her debut show. So if going out 3 weeks, she has, 7 blocks of time where she can hold shows, encourage her to fill those blocks before her debut show. Remember, at the debut show, you're going to get bookings for her, but think of what you're empowering her to do and how much more confident she is if she gets those bookings in advance on her own. So that's what you're doing when you're empowering her. Review the hostess plan, teach her enough to be able to coach her hostesses, and teach her also how to go in Consultant's Corner and how to find out the promotions and find out about the product and educate herself. She's afraid. There is so much information now available for her to find and feel confident about her decision to sell Alouette. Next, your next appointment with her, you'll need to talk to her about marketing her business. You'll have her create her 30-second commercial. Now, the new consultant manual does a great job of teaching this. It helps them create their 30-second commercial. But you need to arm her with that. When somebody asks what she does, or when she wants to tell someone what she does, what does she say? When someone asks you what you do, what do you say? Do you have your commercial? I learned that early, that I had to have my commercial. I always had to have it ready, and I always said the same thing. So help her create that, and then role play with her and challenge her to share it with a certain number of people. Have her go out and tell 5 people what she does. That may be friends, relatives, acquaintances, neighbors, use the Franks list. But challenge her to do that. Now, after you've done that and you've given her a challenge, help her create her marketing list. And again, I'll refer to Franks. Have her write 4 names by every letter. If you do that, you've created a marketing list of 24 people, 6 different letters, 4 each. She's got 24 people. You and I know the numbers game. She contacts 24 people, she's going to have 6 shows to get started with. But after she lists them, the next thing you can do is get her to prioritize. Get her to prioritize and put a letter by these 24 people. Have her put an A by people who will definitely book a show. She just knows they will. They're party people or they owe her. Put a B by people who will probably book a show. Yeah, they will, but we'll need to talk to them a little bit more about it. And put C by people who will possibly book a show. I don't know about them. I've never seen them have a show. And then, want to do something to really make her feel good and lock in that decision? Call a couple of those people. When you're with her or on 3-way calling in your own home, you don't have to be with people to do this. You can do this over the phone. You can do it over video chat. You can get on Skype and do this together. But then call a couple of those people with her so she can hear what you say and you can get her a booking. I cannot tell you how empowering this is. That when I'm talking to Sue and doing this, Sue, I see that Ellen is someone who you think probably would book a show. Tell me a little bit about Ellen. So Sue tells me, I said, you know what? Let's call. Do you know where Ellen is right now? Do you have a number where you can contact her? Let's call her and see if we can get a book a show for you. Would that be cool? Let's do that. She gets all excited. You call her. You've trained her, and you've got her a booking. There is very few things you can do that is as efficient and effective as that to help that new consultant. Now, for you as a leader, these are great steps, and they can really help you, and they're great things, just a couple bullet points that will really help you build successful new consultants. And if it's one at a time, it's easy to manage. But what I'm going to challenge you to do is to build more than one at a time. Because in this business, true success comes from numbers, and the more you do it, the better you get. So how do you manage a team? How do you manage when you have 15 new consultants coming in? Well, the easiest way I've ever found, and there are some great tools and software and lots of things that many of you may know that I don't. And I encourage you to say that, I'll say if it works, use it. Don't change. But if it doesn't, there is one system that I always use that still works. We hear many of our top people do it. And that's simply take a large desk calendar, the kind you buy for 99 cents that sits on a desk. And on that desk calendar, you write all the shows for your new consultants. So as Sue starts in the business, and I know when her shows are in the month of June, I would simply write down, Sue and then the hostess's name and the time of the show. And so that large calendar provides me every night I can look and I can see all the new consultants who have shows. And what I'm going to do is make sure that I encourage, number one, the new consultant. I'm going to call her before her show. I'm going to call her after her show. I'm going to find out how successful it's been. But even more than that, I can call her hostesses. See, one thing I used to do was every week I would go through and I would call my hostess ups for my team. That's what I call them. And they were the hostesses who had shows scheduled all week long. And it would take, I'd spend 3 to 4 hours doing it and I'd leave messages. But I was calling to just thank them for having a show to help Sue get started. And so if I'm to role play with you, I would say, hi there, Judy. My name is Tom Judson, and you don't know me, but we have a mutual friend, Sue. And Sue is just starting her Alouette business. And I'm Sue's manager, and I work with her. And I just wanted to call you to thank you for being an Alouette hostess and having a show with Sue on Thursday night. Are you excited about your show? Great. Well, how many people do you have coming? Great. Do you have any outside orders yet? Okay. Any bookings in waiting? I know she gave you that challenge. Good. Well, great. Well, I could tell you're going to have a super successful show, Ellen, and I just wanted to thank you again from all of us at Alouette for helping Sue get started in her business. Now, that's a very positive, encouraging call, and no one ever complained that I called their hostesses. But occasionally I'd call a hostess and I'd have someone tell me, well, I was really thinking about canceling. I don't think I'm having my show. And that's why I really would call the hostess ups, because then I would say this, well, gosh, Ellen, I understand, but I have to tell you, every week we have a drawing for our hostess of the week, and you're the winner. You were the winning hostess this week. And if you cancel your show, we have a special gift for you that I'm going to give Sue to present to you. And if you cancel your show, you won't get that. Oh, it's fabulous, the gift. Now I have to ask you, having an Alouette show is easy. It's just you, me, and 3 guests, you, me, and 3. Did you have a couple neighbors that maybe you hadn't talked to yet, but you could call and bring over? Any family members? All it takes is a couple of people to have a show. And so generally, I could save 2 or 3 shows a week by doing that, by doing hostess ups. And I was also never surprised. When I would call a consultant off the calendar and ask her how her show was last night, I was never surprised. And that told me who I could count on and who I couldn't. If I would call a consultant, how was your show last night? And tell me about it. And she would, say, oh, it wasn't that good. And it wasn't. And I had talked to the hostess, and I knew it wasn't long before my new consultants just knew they needed to always be open and honest with me and tell me the truth, because I was checking. It was my job to help them be successful. You want to figure out which ones you can do personally and which ones you can do at a group environment, in terms of training. You'll have consultants who you will need to do one-on-one, and those you can do in mass. You also know that when you do it individually, they don't care how much you know. They don't care how knowledgeable you are in the business until they know how much you care. That you care about that. That goes back 4 or 5 points before when we talked about finding out their personal goals and what will drive their personal goals. And remember, the other thing to really encourage them to do is to recruit early. As that new consultant has come in, you want to encourage them to recruit right from the start. Who do you know? Do you have a buddy? Do you have a friend? Do you have a family member who you think would be good in Alouette who could join you? And you do that for 2 reasons. Number one, you're helping them. Nothing is about you, your team, anything about that. You're helping them. They move up in the career plan. New consultants who recruit move up and make the most money. And secondly, if they have a buddy, a support system, they will always stay in the business longer and be more successful if they have a partner and they have a buddy to do it with. So get them and encourage them to recruit early. Here is to strong, happy new Alouette consultants using these tips, along with the great tools, our consultant's manual, the great mentoring from your franchise president, can help you not only bring in lots of new people to Alouette, but make sure they have a successful start in their Alouette business. Thanks again for viewing our video, and see you at the top.